Good evening, it's Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I'm going to show you the Hyundai i40 range. Brian's my name. For any information you want on these particular cars, please give us a call 045 533 3300 or 086 843 1945. I'll be happy to run through the different kind of specifications, or if you want to arrange test drives or information on financing and trade-ins. So these cars, the main thing first of all starting off on an i40 is there's two body styles. So if we have a look at the front of these cars, I'm going to just go down to the front here for a sec. Okay, so identical at the front, so there's no difference. This one here is a Tourer, this one here is a Saloon. There's literally no difference at all between the two vehicles, as we see in terms of front grille, same alloy wheel style. Moving down along here, the actual roof line really doesn't change at all until we get nearer to the back. So we can see here, this C-pillar along here starts a little bit earlier, whereas this one here is more gradual. And then we get down to the very end of the car, and what happens is we have two different independent body styles at the back. Some people buy estates because they want more space. Some people actually prefer the shape of the estate, but some people prefer the Saloon because it's got the nice dual exit exhaust and stuff like that on the back as well. So if we have a quick look just from the front, I'm curious actually. So this Saloon is jutting a little bit ahead of that Tourer, which means that the Tourer should be sticking out a little bit at the end. Yeah, they're actually identical in terms of length, so it's really no difference. It's just around the area at the top along here is where you're going to see a big difference between the two of them. So let's have a quick look in the boot. That is the bell for just technicians that we have at certain intervals. Sorry about this now, didn't realise that was going to go off. Just at break times, and it's 6 o'clock now, that's probably why on Saturday. So in terms of the inside, the length of the boot is pretty much going to be identical between both vehicles, but so if you have a look along here, which is probably a little bit dark to see, but it's quite a long boot all the way in as far as the back. But this one here has, I suppose, a lip when you're actually accessing the back. So to put stuff in the back, there's a lip we got to get over, just the style of the way that the car is. In terms of underneath, spare wheel along here. Over here though, we got a nice low load area, which is going to be, I suppose, much easier. So we have a look at the back of the two cars. There is a pretty significant difference along here for getting stuff in and out of the back. After that, the taillights are both nice LED style taillights, which are pretty much identical in terms of shape. The Tourer has got a small bit of storage underneath here, and if we take that out, just small little areas that you can throw stuff in and out of. Under there is a spare wheel like the Saloon counterpart, but right, let's put that back in. Sorry now for the messing around. We've got a cover that will come back along here as well, but I suppose the main thing is it's just, not that it's longer, it's just much more accessible. But again, it depends what you need in a car. So some people need that kind of space and some people don't. So it really depends what you need. After that though, there really is pretty much no difference. Same engines, road tax rates are going to be identical. But in terms of the Saloon, it's probably aimed at a slightly different market. So just with the rear end of the car with the tailpipes, it looks really cool. But the back end of this one is equally as impressive as well. So anyway, they're the main differences between the Tourer and the Saloon. After that, within the three different models, that are available, within the two body styles that we just looked at, Tourer or Saloon, there's three actual specifications. So the first one is what's called a Comfort. Now I don't have a Comfort one here, so I'm just going to have to give you a quick description overall of what's on the Comfort. But on the exterior, it's got the nice daytime running lights that come down along here. So with the i40, if we turn off, are they gonna work? Yeah, no, maybe not. Okay, off. Yeah. At the moment, the headlights are in automatic, so because we're inside. But what would normally happen is every time you run the car, oh, I know the problem is, put your front fog lights on. So let's turn that off. And after that, then, yeah, okay, sorry. Daytime running light up along the top, that'll always be standard on the car. But what happens is we get these nice front fog lights. So remember, regardless of body style, these front LED fog lamps are quite unusual. It's the first time I've seen them. I'm sure there's other cars in the market, but it's the first car that we've had here that has a nice LED style parking light and fog light setup. Headlights along here, and we also have cornering lights, but there's also a full headlamp which is separate, so you get quite a good light from the front end of the vehicle. So after that, the comfort model is pretty much going to be identical as it runs down. However, it will have a different wheel style along here, so it won't have an alloy wheel like this one here. But after that, everything that you see along here is going to be identical except for tinted rear glass on this particular one. So comfort, which is the starting off model, is going to be pretty much very similar in that saloon car that we just looked at there, or it'll also sorry, actually the comfort is not available. I'm just thinking here, the comfort is not available on the Tour, so you got to go for the middle spec if you want to go for a Tour version. Comfort's only available in the first one. To be fair, most people, they do seem to graduate up into the second model, which is the Executive. So the Executive is going to be like the specification that's on this car over here. Okay, so disregard, we'll say, the body style for the moment. All the stuff I'm going to show you here is going to be standard on an Executive model. So an Executive model, alloyed wheels on the outside, same daytime running light and front fog light that we were talking about already. 1.7 diesel engine. So no matter which one of the 1.7 diesel engines you look at, in terms of, if you look at Tour or Saloon, you're going to have 200 quid a year for road tax, 115 horsepower, and then fuel efficiency is going to be somewhere in the region of about 50 to 55 miles per gallon. So the Executive, as we were saying, will come in the Tour shape or the Saloon shape. After that, on the outside, besides looking at the likes of the tinted rear glass that we were talking about, which we can see on this Tour or the Saloon, and the alloy wheels, there's pretty much very, very little difference on the outside between the first and second models in these cars. So after that, if we move to the interior of the car, no matter which one we look at, so regardless of whether it's Tourer or Saloon, or if it's Comfort or Executive or anything like that, the interior legroom in the car is going to be identical all the time. So I know it's a little bit dark in here, but legroom, let's just do a real quick practical test on this here. So if I was to turn this down, seats are going to be electric, so I would sit quite comfortably in a car like that. So I'm about 6 foot, so it means I can sit in the back of this car easy. So down along here I've got so much space. Yeah, so lots and lots of space. Rear vents down along here. So that's the kind of interior size of the car. In terms of if you buy the Executive specification would be like this. So Executive spec is going to have a, first of all, let's turn on the light. So it's going to have a cloth interior. Cloth interior on the Executive. Sorry, the camera's not very good. Let's go around to the other side and see if we can get a bit more light shining in there. Yeah, that's a lot better. So 3-point safety belts, armrest in the centre, Isofix for child seats, and then that's the kind of material that's on the seat, that sort of fabric. Vents, as we were talking about, in the back, and then after that kangaroo pockets and stuff like that up through there. So apologies for it being so dark, it's just the weather is so bad this weekend outside, I wasn't able to do anything. So after that then, in terms of the interior, let's just turn this down for a sec. So electrics for windows, electrics for mirrors, child locks down along there. And what we can also do then is fold in the wing mirrors using this electric adjuster along here. We got automatic headlights, which are obviously automatic and the lights come on themselves. Front fog lights, rear fog lights, brightness of the dash. After that then, start stop function. So like most modern cars now, if you stop a traffic light, engine revolution stop, and then you put your foot in the clutch again and it starts back up straight away again. So it's just to save fuel, reduce CO2 emissions. Cruise control down along through here, and then we have a trip computer set up in through here, so it's going to tell us how much fuel we've got left, average fuel efficiency, and then after that we have another screen which is going to go into service intervals and various information like that, and then just all the settings that we can go through. So voice activated Bluetooth, so
please say a command.
FM 104. I don't know why I always use FM 104, just because it's the first station that comes to my head. Oops, she's probably listening. Might have given her too many commands there. So,
sorry, please say a command.
FM 104.
FM 104.
There you go, pretty cool. After that then I can also say,
Please say a command.
call the garage. Okay, so I'm not going to do that because I haven't paired up my phone, but it would if I'd paired up my phone. Auto stop start. So if you are on a hill, because it's got an electronic park brake, so this is all standard stuff in the executive. Electronic park brake, it just means that if you pull up, some people worry about not being able to lift their handbrake, so to stop the car rolling backwards, the auto hold function is going to be there. I might have said auto stop start there, sorry about that. Auto hold is going to be there, so if you're pulling up to a traffic light that's on a hill, to prevent you rolling backwards, you put your foot in the brake, you let your foot off the brake, and it won't roll backwards once the auto hold is engaged. So it's quite useful. After that then, auxiliary and USB connectors in through there. Drive mode here is going to give us a sport mode for a more dynamic steering feel. And after that then traction control down along through here with vehicle stability assist to keep the car in a straight line at all times. So heating controls, driver and passenger, independent temperatures, front and rear windscreen demisters, speed up or slow down the fan, where do you want the air to blow, air conditioning on and off, air recirculation, all that stuff. Executives have rear park sensors, and then they'll also have, rear park camera, and then they'll also have rear sensors, if you can hear that noise. Yeah, which you can probably hear, and then same at the front as well. So you hear that. So what happens is two different tones, so it's great actually if you're reversing into really short space or small area, you'll know by the noise is it the front or the back that's got a problem. So that's pretty cool. So that's again through executive. Driver, passenger, curtain all the way down the back, side airbags. It's got it's a 5-star safety rating, so it's pretty much as safe as you can get it in terms of safety overall. And then rear electrochromatic mirror, which darkens itself if someone comes up behind you. Again, that is a really brief overview on the executive spec. So you can buy an executive, it's probably the most popular model in it. The executive comes in both tour and saloon. Okay. After that, then the next model is Executive Plus. So an Executive Plus is like this one. The first notable feature is that, sorry it's so dark here, just going to try and open up the door to give a bit more light. The first notable feature is when you sit into the car, you're going to have leather interior. By the way, all the spec that I go through, there is tons more in these cars than, it's just, there's so much stuff, like even things like, you know, cool glove boxes, all that kind of stuff. It's just, you would probably fall asleep if I went through every single feature in the car, but there is more to these cars if you come to look at them. So leather down along through here, and there is different colour leather, so it depends on your exterior colour of the car. You might get a light coloured leather with a dark coloured car and vice versa. After that we have electric memory seats. So if I sit into the car, I've got electric seats front and rear, which are on the executive model as well, but electric seats, and then their memory, so I can set it and say, okay, I want number one setting always to be like that. The other thing then after that is now we've gone into ventilated or heated seats. So down here I'm ventilating the seat, or up here I'm warming the seat. You've also got a heated steering wheel. So down along through here gets quite nice and warm. So that's pretty cool during the winter. The other features then on Executive Plus, it is probably one of the biggest things on it, is it's going to have a higher output engine. So we're going to close to 140 horsepower. Normally they have 115 in the Executive, whether it be Tour or Saloon. In these ones you are going to Executive Plus, which is giving you 115 horsepower as well. The road tax is 200 on the Executives and the Comforts, while the Executive Plus goes into 270. And then if you go for an automatic in these cars, you are looking at 270 euros a year road tax as well, so it's not bad at all. After that then they're pretty much, I suppose, most of the information. There is more stuff that I can go through on these, but I'm aware that we're into 40 minutes. If you've managed to stay this long, fair play to you, I appreciate it, because I know some of it is very boring. But if you are looking to buy one of these cars, I hope the information might be useful. If you don't have time to maybe get out into the garage and have a look at stuff. So the cars come with 5 years warranty. They come with 5 years of AA cover as well. And after that then they, depending on when you buy your car, a lot of the time Hyundai will be quite generous, so they'll offer things like 5 years free servicing, or sometimes we do it ourselves here at the garage too. So in terms of finance information or anything like that, if you'd like some information on it, please give me a call. Or in terms of part exchange, Brian's my name. If you come to the garage, just ask for me, or if you call up, just ask for me as well. I'll be able to look after you. So thanks for taking time to watch, and hopefully these vehicles are of interest, and we might chat to you soon.